Okay, so today we are going to start this Lightning Web Components. So now this Lightning Web Components, I mean, this was introduced by Salesforce in December 2018. It was introduced. I mean, it is an enhanced version of Lightning Components. The biggest difference is this Lightning Web Component. This one is totally based upon your JavaScript framework. It's being made. So the advantages that you have, I mean, with this Lightning Web Component and JavaScript basis, I mean, you can make use of lot of out of the box functionalities in for JavaScript. I mean, which previously with the Lightning component it was very limited because there this Aura framework was being used. So that's why that is one of the reasons. Secondly, performance is much better as well as security is much better. So I mean these are the some of the reasons. I mean Lightning Web Components as compared to Lightning Components is better. So here if you see, I mean I created some Lightning Web Components. I mean how you can distinguish in your org also. I mean first of all in VS Code, I mean you can see this LWC tag. Whereas for Lightning Components, you will see this Aura. Now, if in case I go into my developer console also, sorry, into my setup, there are components. So here you will find them under Lightning Components. Their type will be Aura. Sorry, the type will be LWC. For Lightning Components, you see is Aura. For Lightning Web Components, it's LWC. And now let us see one example, I mean how it's created and what are the libraries it's created. If I try to create one LWC, yeah, and one more thing here to be noted is this Lightning Web Components you cannot create from developer console. So in case I need to create an LWC, I need to go into the VS Code. So that's why when I was saying, when I started my first Apex class session, in LWC you won't be able to create without VS Code. So here if you see, you have, I just right click on, you have this option, create new Lightning Web. Here you need to specify the name of the LWC. Let me name it. Just click on it. It will ask me where to save. So this one will be in the LWC library. And there you see. So mainly, if you see, 3 files will be created. One will be HTML. I mean, there you will have that your UI part, how it looks like. Second part will come your JS part. I mean, all your logicking power. I mean, just like you had in Lightning component, the controller part. So it's very much similar there. And third one, you will have this metadata XML. This I will explain to you once we take one example. So mainly these 3 files are going to come. And here also, if you see which things I want to import it from my LWC, mainly here these 3 things are mainly being loaded here. Lightning element, API is being loaded, and wire is being loaded. I will explain you those reactive variables also in the demo. And apart from this, this is very common syntax that comes. What is the name of my component and which this one wants to extend this library. That's it. Any question until this point, then I can go into the first LWC and it will be more easier.
No question.
Okay. Okay, let us go to first LWC. If you see, now what I want is, here I want one button. Once I click on that, I should be able to update account some details. So if you see here, I have this button update account. Yeah. So now let me click on it. So once I click on it, this screen will open. It will have the name of the account, and here I can update two fields. I can update the revenue and I can update the rating. So let me try to update both of them. Let me make it 300. Let me try to make the rating warm. Once I click on update, this details should be saved into the backend, as well as a success message should be displayed. You see the success message came in account has been updated. Let us check the details. Now once I click on this return button, it will take me back to this detail page. Yeah, here if you see, I made the revenue 300, rating came as warm. So how this is happening? So mainly here from LWC part, what has been done is this one quick action has been created out on which one LWC has been called. Let me show. If you open this page, yeah, here if you see, you have this. In quick actions, you have this update account. Now let us see how this full part is getting worked. And previously, this feature calling lightning one component from quick action this has been recently introduced by Salesforce in May in summer release. So previously, in case I needed to call lightning web component from quick action, it was not possible. So there, what has to be done it out is I had to create one lightning component, and inside that I had to wrap the lightning web components and then pass the record ID. But from summer 21, now we can call this one directly. Let us see how this web component has been created. I just want to know its name. Yeah. So now here, if you see, this is how it has been. So simple way is you just need to go here into so here if you see, you will have this option lightning web component. So inside that, this lightning web component is coming. So there you can specify it label and all of those things. So let us go here now. Yeah. So this is how it looks like. Okay, let us go each tag one by one. First of all, I will discover this JS part, and then we will go into the. First of all, I will discover this JS, then HTML, and then this metadata XML. I will also tell you. Okay, let me start it. So now here, if you see, I had done these three variables. I have imported out. Now, what does these three variables mean? These are known as your reactive variable in LWC, they call it. So they are mainly your API, track, and wire. Now you will ask me what is the difference between these three variables. Now this one, your API, this one is your public variable. So now what I mean by here public variable is this variable can be used between two components. Assume I have one LWC, there I am getting some data. So that data I need to pass to some another attribute or a parameter into Lightning Web Components. So in that case, what I need to do is I need to have a API scope. For this also we have one example that I will discuss later on. Track is nothing but your private variable. In case I need to do anything here, assume I have this variable, something like this. Now I can write track like with this keyword. So now in case I need to make any change, like normal private variable, I can use it inside its any method. Assume here I want to set the value equal to 200 or something like this. And one more thing here to be noted is, even if I don't with Salesforce latest 1 year feature, in case I don't write it something like this, so it assumes that it's a track variable. So track variable is, it's like that it can only be used within your one lightning component. It can be used, it can only be used. So it's a sort of a local variable. So whereas your API, this one is a public, it can be used between two lightning web components. Now comes third one, wire. So wire is nothing, what I want is whenever my page loads, assume there is one example, there is also there which we'll discuss later. Assume whenever my page is loading, so there I want to get account details. So on my page load, what I'm going to do, I'm going to call my Apex class, and from there I'm going to get the data. So during initial loading and all of these things, generally a wire method is used where you're going to call the Apex class and its method. So these two variables, API and track, this one is your public, track is your private, and wire is corresponding to call an Apex class. Whenever my page loads, and from the Apex class, I need to call some method, and there I need to get the data. So currently, if you see this example, this I will remove. So let us see how it has been now worked out. So mainly here I have this two method, handle success and handle cancel. Let us see how it's been called. If you see in last session, we had done something known as lightning data services we had done. So there also, if you remember, we had tried to create one lead record. We had tried to create. So similarly here also, I have used this property lightning record edit form. Here I have used. So it has two parts. One is your view form, and the other one is your edit one. Now in case of view, it will only be read only. In case of edit, what I can do, I can either create an account or edit the existing account. Sorry, on this one, what I was saying, that was not lead example in lightning component, it was an account example. If you remember we had updated some account details, created an account record, not updated, we created one account record. Did you remember that example? Anyone? Or you want me to show that example before I move to this one, that lightning component which I'm referring? Yeah, tell please, if you want it, I can show that example also, the previous one, lightning component.
Yeah, Manu, please repeat that once, if it's possible. Please repeat it.
So if you remember last time, you remember we had this thing when we were creating one new account. So this one was happening through your lightning component. So here we were creating one. So this record was getting created. So now this record, if you see, this one has been now created from lightning component. So in case I look into this one's code, check the name of the component. Yeah. So here if you see, you in Lightning components, you have this thing known as record form. So now in case I go into my LWC here also, so if you see in this Lightning component, I had passed the name of the account, the field which I want. On success, I had displayed one success message. So this is what we had done in Lightning component. So now in case I go into this LWC, there also I had this record form only. But here I can specify, mean whether I want an edit or I can need an read form. That is known as view form. So in case I try to search this library on internet also from Salesforce documentation. So this has been mentioned from Salesforce to create a form that is used to add or update an existing record. And apart from this, I mean, it has all these properties it has. So now let me go here. So if you see now here, same thing here has been done. Here I have passed this record ID. Since I was updating that account record, so I need that record ID. So that record ID I'm getting from this API variable. This is Salesforce mean inbuilt keyword, mean this record ID. In order to get the record ID on a particular record. So now here, what else I have specified? I have specified the name of the object on which I want to perform my operation, and on success, this one is my action. So on this on success, I am calling this method handle success. In this handle success, what I am doing is I am showing this success message that my account record has been updated. And this toast message, if you remember, this is the same thing that we did for Lightning components also. There also we were using toast messages. But here to use toast messages, you need to import this library. Lightning platform show you that. Similarly, if you remember here, let me go to this record. I have this another button I have also have. This one is return button. So what this return button is going, it is returning into the detail page. So let us see in how this is happening. Yeah. So this one I discussed for update. If you see first, just if you see. So there you have this variant brand minute type of min button. This is an inbuilt keyword. So this type equal to submit. This one is using your this Lightning record edit form to call that submit button. Mean this is using your Salesforce inbuilt code. So label and name, these are similar. Okay, so let us check this one. This handle cancel now. So here if you see, I have this thing mean handle cancel. So inside this, I have using this library mean to navigate to my standard page. So for this mean I have imported this library. Import navigation. So here what I have done is I have passed this record ID from this API variable and where I want to go. That's it. So type is one parameter that I have, that is standard record page, and the second one is my attribute. So on the whole, if you see what we have done here is, first of all, I have imported this variables in your API track where this I have imported out. After that, for navigation, I have imported this library. And to show the toast messages, I have imported this show toast event. And after that, I have just extended this library for navigation. And inside that, I have passed this lightning element. Other than that, since record ID I want to use on my lightning edit record page, I want to use it out. I have used this thing record ID. And other than this, I have these two buttons here. Also, I have this sub update and cancel. Update, it will use Salesforce record form edit, edit submit property it will use. So there I don't need to call any method. So it is calling inbuilt the save method of Salesforce. It's calling inbuilt. No Apex class I need to write it. Okay. Second thing, the cancel button. This one what I'm talking. Update return here. And apart from this, I have this one field I have specified as here as output field, and that is your name. Where I need to enter the data, that I have specified as input field. So this is how this UI has been constructed. And apart from that, in case some success come, on success, I want to call this method. Any questions till this point?
Manu,
Yeah. Hello.
can you
Yeah, tell please. Hello. Hello. Someone was asking something. Hello.
Yeah, Manu, regarding this handle success, this dot dispatch event, can you explain this part, like how this is working?
Okay. So whenever you want whenever I'm clicking on that update button, I want success message to be displayed. In case there is no such error. So this lightning edit form these have different inbuilt methods. It has on load, it has on error, it has similarly on success also it has. So whenever my success message comes, what I want is I want my message to be displayed out. So for this, what I have done, I want to show that toast message. In order to show that toast message, I need to dispatch some sort of event in lightning component. So here, first of all, I have this platform event. On success, I want this platform event to be called out to show that success message. So in order to call that out, I had dispatched this event. So in case you check this dispatch event, it's a sort of a JS function. That's it. When this success part occurs, how the message should be displayed. That's it. Is this clear?
Okay, yeah.
Hello, Manu.
Yeah.
So what if we get an error message? So I want to display to the user saying that there is an error has been occurred. For that, do we need to write any extra code?
Yeah, that's what I told you. Here you have this thing. On error you also have.
On error, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
This one.
And for this to be displayed, we need to write a handle another set of piece of code.
Yeah, I need to write it.
Yes,
Like
yes.
I have this handle success, and maybe I can have some method like something. So I can have. Assume you want it. So here you can specify error. Call it out. Is it fine? This is how it should be.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So is this example clear? So this is how this same thing we had done in lightning components also. So similar thing into LWC has been done. But if you see in this coding is very much simpler. Okay, and one more point. Now you should have asked me one thing here. How this Lightning Web Component came as quick action. So whenever like in Lightning Component, we used to have this one property app hostable available for all pages. These are different properties we used to have. In order to use it in your app builder or in your record page or in your home page, we used to have different properties. If you remember, let me open it. Oh no, it's so slow. Yeah. So these are all there, maybe from here also. Just yeah. Yeah. So if you see in Lightning Component, in case I was using these tags, if you see, in case I want to use it in a detail page or in a home page or all of these things. So similar thing in case I want to use a Lightning Web Component into my record page as a quick action, how I'm doing it out. So for that, if you see what we have done, we have this file js metadata.xml. So here, if you see, you write it like this. You have this targets. So you can specify where you want to use your Lightning Web Component, whether you want to use it in your app builder, whether you want to use it in your record page, whether you want to use it in your home page. And in order to use it into my quick action, we are using this. In case I don't specify this tag, this can't be used here. Whenever I am creating a quick action, it won't show me this Lightning Web Component. So is this thing clear? This metadata XML part.
Yeah.
Anyone anything on this? So this is just used to specify where you want to use a Lightning Web Component. Okay. So this first Lightning Web Component was covered. Now let me go to the second one. This pagination, this I will not discuss because it will take time. Okay. Now here, if you see, I have this home page. So here I have written one Apex class, from where I am getting my list of accounts present to my system. If you see. So anyone any idea how this data is coming? What I would have done in Lightning Web Component.
Yeah, so like you must have written a class in Apex class. In one of those methods you have written a circle query, and from there you have
Good.
written and you have written that list,
Yes.
and that list you are iterating over here in
Yes.
for loop. Yeah, that is.
Yeah. So that data that is coming from the Apex class, you're correct. First, I have written that Apex class. In that there is data. After that Apex class I am calling from my Lightning Web Component. So in the Lightning Web Component, I have used one wire method, which is getting me that data. And once I get that data I'm displaying on the template, that Lightning Web Component UI. So let us check it how this has been done. Yeah, let me open this class. Yeah. Okay. So now here, if you see what has been done, when I created one Apex class known as account helper. And one more thing you remember here, like whenever we are writing Lightning Web Component and we are calling some method, at the rate or enable like Lightning Web Components, you should write it here, as well as cacheable equal to true, you should also write it here. So now what is the reason for this writing cacheable equal to true is in case I was trying to search my name into my Lightning Web Component, maybe Manu. So it got 10 records. So first time it took about me maybe 20 milliseconds it took me about. So next time I zoom in on that same screen, I'm going to query that Manu again. So since in case my data by Lightning Web Component is stored into my cache, it won't take, it won't search my data again into my system. So since it's present into my cache, it will just display it out. So it would hardly take me 1 or 2 milliseconds. So storing the data into the cache, that is why cacheable equal to true here has been used. So now here, if you see, I have this method get account list. So where I'm returning this account records. So now let us see how this has been done on my LWC. Yeah. So here, if you see, the first thing in API wire track. Now this is what I was talking about regarding wired method. So here, if you see, this is what I was talking. So now let us try to dig deeper into this. So here, what has been done at the rate Salesforce Apex account helper, I should call this get account list method. So what data comes from this one get into this variable. This I can write it anything. I could write it as get account list 10 also I can write it out. So in case I write it out here, I guess get account list 10, then here also should come get account list 10. Currently I will keep it as get account list only. So this method, this needs to be done. This Apex class method needs to be called during load only. So that's why I have this keyword wire. So inside this wire, what I want, my data should come. It should come in the form of my data. It should come in the form of my error. So that's why in case there is no such error, then this should assign this data to this variable. Otherwise, it should assign to this error. So now in case I look into this account list, this is a variable in which is just storing my account data record. So data I got of account records from my Apex class, this I am storing into this variable in case success is coming, and later on I am using this one here to display. So Apex class calling, is it clear? Hello? How it's being done?
Yeah.
Okay. So here one more thing you will notice is this one is a track variable, because track why? Because this is being used only into this Lightning component. It's a private variable. Okay. So this column now I will explain to you what it means. So in order to display this account data in Lightning component, we also had this tag Lightning data table. Similarly, here also we have this tag Lightning data table. So now here data. So this data, it will hold me my account data. But before displaying this account data, if you see, this is my account data. But before displaying this account data, I want to display this columns also and its label also. You see, account name, type, annual revenue, all of this, phone, website. So how those are being done? So those are being generally stored into your columns property. And if you check this attribute on Salesforce documentation, also this columns, it specifies me 3 things: label, field name, type, sortable. These are all the properties that it specifies it out. So here in the label, I have written account name. Field name is which field data I want to display. Type, text, currency, phone, all of these. So now here, if you see, this will go into my columns. And key field equal to ID mean this is just mean for having unique records. So this one is holding what structure I need and what field name I need, which field I need to display. And this corresponds to that data. And if you see both of these variable mean your column is also tracked. And your account list is also tracked. And one more point here to be noted is whenever you are using this variable track and variable, after you declare inside your JS, you always need to refer it with this dot here. If you see, in case I write it without here, it won't work. So whenever you want to use it, you need to write it. So is this clear? Any questions
Yes.
on this?
Yeah, like there is one question like, can we write logic onto the JavaScript side instead of like writing an Apex?
Where
To get the data from the
for data you need it? Yeah, data you need it from the Apex class, na? So that class you
yeah.
need to call it out somewhere. Normal logics I can write in JS in case some calculation, in case you think where my data, where my Apex class is not required, that I can write it through here.
Okay.
But Apex class data, without calling the Apex class, how will I get the data? It won't be possible.
Okay, got it.
Okay. Now let me go to the another example. Assume I have this. Yeah, this one I have. So this is the third LWC that I'm now going to talk. In the LWC, assume what I want is whenever I am saving some record, I'm updating some record, I want to show some sort of a validation and I want to show some success message. Let me show you this one. Forgot its name. Okay, maybe just 1 minute. Let me just return. This is example. Actually, I forgot its component name, so that's what I'm just checking it out. Okay. Yeah, now it's came. That was not present here. Okay, actually this one was not present to my VS Code. That's why I just refresh it, the web components to show it out. Yeah, so now we are going to discuss this example. Let me close this one. present here. Yeah. Okay. So now let us discuss one more example here. Let me. Okay, that is fine. Yeah, I have this method handles it. This is what I want to show you. Yeah. Okay, fine. So let us now do this example. So now there is one example. So here I have done two things on this example. I am returning my list of account records I am returning. So now update here I am doing through Apex code. I mean, whenever I click on save, so it should call my Apex class. It should update that particular account. So in case that account record is being getting updated, it should show me the success message. Or there is one more scenario here. In case assuming I try to enter the name of my account test, name as test. So in case my name test is entered, it should show me an error message. So why I am showing you this example is I just want to show you in Lightning Web Component, we have this thing called as imperative apex. So assume I click on one button. So after clicking on that button, I want to call an apex class into my LWC, how you can, I want to return. So for that, I will make use of imperative apex. Wire is being used whenever my Lightning Web Component is getting loaded, and from there you need to get the data from your apex class. In case I click on some button, I click on it, and on click of that button, I want to call an apex class, and inside that apex class, I want to call some method. There we use the term known as imperative apex. So is the business scenario clear in what needs to be done here?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So let us see how it works out. So first of all, I will just try to update its name, maybe to tell just WC200 I will do it. So now I have this save and cancel. I will click on save. You see the success message came. And it returned me to this page. One thing, how this part is happening. The second thing that I want to discuss is you. So how this is happening. Let us see. So if you see here, I have written this controller. And we keep this one also open. Yeah, fine. Yeah. So here if you see in this controller, in order to show these account records, I have used this method fetch accounts. So here I'm fetching 10 account records. I'm fetching it out. After that, this one, if you see, this one should be a wired method. So the data I'm getting, this I'm sorting into the stack variable accounts. So once this data come, this is just being displayed by data table. So my data came into my page. So now on save, I want to call one apex method which should update these my accounts. So I have this method handle. Yeah. So now here, if you see, this is the main thing that I'm talking here, this imperative apex. Now, on save, I want to call this method update accounts. So now let us see what this update account is. So in case, just one normal line DML operation. So in case it's a success, it should do successfully updated. Otherwise, it should show me an error message. That's it. So now let us see how this imperative apex is called. Now, if I go here, update accounts, you just need to call it directly. That's it. Nothing more than that. Now this account list, it will contain those records which I want to update it on. So here, if you go into controller, I pass this list of accounts. So this is my name of my parameter, what is there, and what values I am passing here. That's it. So now assume there was success. So one success is coming. If you remember, we are passing this thing successfully updated here. So same thing I have done here. In case it's a success, just show me that success toast message. Or otherwise, in case there is some sort of an exception or some error is there, then it should also show me. Similarly, now this thing, is this success part clear? Then I can go into there. Just like wire method, in case of wiring, you need to have import the method name from your Apex class, and after that, at the rate wire, you can use it out directly. But in case of imperative Apex, you just need to do this thing. You need to specify import your method name, which is there, and inside your JS, you can call that method directly. That's it. So this is what it has been done for update account here also. I just import it out and I just call it out directly. That's it. Is this clear? Then I can go to the error. Okay, I assume there is no such question. Okay, so now let me come to this part. How my error message was getting displayed. So here, if you see on handle save, I'm getting all my records which are there. So I'm checking whether my name equal to test is present or not. So in case it's being present, show my error message. That's it. And I have just specify this Boolean variable to just break my logic that it should not go further. That's it. So that's why you see this Boolean check I have equal to. So this was regarding calling your imperative Apex in Lightning Web Components. So now if you see what things we have covered in today's session, the first thing that we did was Lightning record form. We did it out. That is a Lightning data services that I call in LWC. That was the first thing that we did it out. And in that Lightning web data services, we click on, we were doing it on save what should happen. And other than that, we were showing a success message also. So that one thing we did out there. In the second part, we use this wired method and the Lightning data table, where I was displaying my list of accounts I was displaying it now. That was 2. The third one, this one which I covered, this one was using your imperative APIs in LWC. Okay, so now what I want is whenever I have this one LWC I have. So what I want on an LWC, I have this button. There is some button. So once I click on it, it should take me to my another LWC. So how that thing is working in LWC. So now that I'm going to discuss. this is my example now. Here, if you see, I have this LWC. I mean, navigate to LWC I have. So this one is one Lightning Web Component which have this button, I mean, navigate to LWC. Once I click on it, it takes me to another LWC. Now, this first LWC, this navigate to LWC, here I have specified 800. So this 800 that is being passed to another LWC here. So now how this is happening? Let me first show you. I mean, here this one is. So here if you see, so let us check. I mean, navigate from LWC. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So let us go into this scenario. This is my second LWC. Okay. Fine. Yeah. So here if you see into this LWC, I have this button, navigate to LWC. This one. So if you see, on click, I'm calling this method handle navigate. So if you see this handle navigate, I am going to another LWC, target LWC. Inside that, I am passing this value 800. Now, if you see property value here, this one should be an API attribute into another LWC. Now, since this was defined as API @API, that's why I was able to access this attribute from this LWC. Now let me open this one. If you see. So now this target LWC, it has this variable property value. So to this, I am passing 800 value from my navigate LWC. So that's it. And whenever you need to call LWC, one LWC from another LWC, you need to make use of this 64 encoding, you need to use it out. So this is what it has been done here. And this is a common code to convert into this encoding. So this is my component definition that I defined. There I defined the name of the LWC component, the attribute that I need to pass it out. That is, after that I am encoding into this 64 and I am calling this URL. That's it. So here if you see, two things I have done. I have used this aura attribute, which was a public variable from another LWC. Apart from this, I am calling the LWC also. Is this scenario clear? And what has been done, or any questions on this?
That's clear.
Okay. Okay, so now LWC mean we almost covered a lot of things. One of the most important, if you remember in Lightning component, we had this thing known as mean event communication we had in Lightning component. So it used to be mean from child to parent, we used to have communication. That was your component bundle. And the second one was your this application event in where the data was being fired and handled by all. So similarly in LWC also mean we have two types of communication. The first one is your parent to child communication. That is one thing that I have. Then the other thing that I have is child to parent. So first of all, we will discuss this parent to child. Yeah. So here if you see, I have I have this one lightning web component I have inside that I have wrap another lightning web component. So here if you see hello child I'm writing. So this part I'm writing into my parent component and this one is getting displayed into my child component. Let us see how this has been done. We close all of this. Yeah, that's why I name it as from parent component. Yeah. I believe from the naming convention, it should also be clear. Name from parent component and to child component. Yeah. Yeah. So now here, if you see, I have this input text I have, input label field I have, input field I have. You see, this is enter the message. So now whenever I am entering the value in this parent component, it is calling this method handle change event. Let us see what this handle change event is doing. Just one thing. Okay. So now here, if you see this input field, this one is calling this method handle change event. So here, what I am doing is I am calling this child component. Now you will ask me, why this C hyphen to child component. So if you see my name of my child component, this one is capital. So this your LWC, this one is camel sensitive. So in case I don't write it this thing like this, then it will consider it as like this. And it will consider it as small. So in order to distinguish with this uppercase sensitivity, you need to write the name like this in Lightning. In case I write it like this will consider it like this. Like this. So this is the reason you need to write this hyphen sign in between. Okay, so now what I'm doing is whenever I have entered this input text, I'm calling this method handle change event. It is calling my this child component, it's calling, and inside that it's calling this method, that is change message. And in this change message, I'm passing that message from my child, from my input field. That's why you have this event.target.value. So I am assuming you people know JS. So these things this JS part I'm not going to discuss. In this event.target.value what does it? So now here, if you see, I have passed this message here. Now let me go to my child component. Now, anyone, any idea? Change message. Since I am calling it out from my parent to child, mean what thing it should have? It should have track API wire, or what it will have? Anyone, any guess?
API.
Yeah, good. Yes. So now let us go to here. If you see. Fine. So now here what has been done? I have this variable. You were asking them in track how to use it. So this dot message. So now what I have done is I have entered hello child in anything, and it's getting converted to uppercase also. So here the message, if you see, I wrote it, everything is coming capital. So this I entered into parent, this is displaying into child. In case I go into my child here, this is my message. Now, in order to use it into my parent, this is how I have done. So is this clear? Any questions on this parent to child communication?
No.
Okay. So main thing here to be noted on the gist is you just need to wrap your child component here, and in order to fire the event, you need to do it like this. I mean, this dot template dot query select locator, your name of your component and your message, that the method that you need to call it. That's it. Okay, so now one scenario is left, I mean child to parent. I will close all of this. So now here, if you see, this is my child. So here I will enter the text that will come in parent. I will write hello parent. So here, if you see what has been done, I'm entering the text here into my child component. This is getting displayed into my parent. So now let us see how this has been done. Yeah. Yeah. So now here, if you see on my child, I have this enter text in child component. So here I have this input field. On this, I'm calling this thing on change. So here I have this method handle change. Now in case I open it. Yeah. So now this is going to be the main. So here what needs to be done? This event since needs to be find from child to parent. So you need to dispatch the event. New cust. This is the name of my event. So this is the value that I'm passing it out. So now let us see where this my cust event is being present. I will go to now my parent. Yeah. So now here, if you see this word, this is what I'm talking. So from my child, like from in case of mean this parent to child, we were using this dot template or query locator. So in case I need to do the same thing opposite way, and from child I need to fire an event, it should be handled by parent. So there you need to dispatch the event. So in dispatching the event, this is how you define an event. Inside that, you need to define mean what should be the name of my event and what values do I need to pass. So here, if you see, I am passing this constant name and I am passing to this variable detail here. So now on parent, how it's being done it out. On parent, if you see, I have here this thing. So here what I will do, I will specify the name of my child component, and this is the name of that event, if you remember, the same thing that we call. And this one on, whenever child to parent communication is happening, you always need to use on word. On, and the event that is being fired from the child. So now my child event name here is my cust event. Is this clear till this point how this has been done? And then I can go further. So I fired this event my cust on my custom event from my child component on parent. In case I need to handle that, I need to write this keyword on and the name of my event, which is being fired from the child. So after that, what I'm doing is I'm calling this method handle custom event. So in case I go here, the data will be present. Let me now try to explain this one on the whole, just how it has been done it out. That's it. This is how your message is coming. So here, after that my event got fired, it should fire this method, has to handle custom event on my parent. So here if you see, I'm displaying that test. So that's why here if you see, I have this one detail here. Detail is nothing but my attribute from my child. That's it. So on the whole, what has been done here is I fire this event from my child. Data got stored into this event, this my cust event. When I went into my parent, this my cust event, this is calling this handle custom event on my parent. So inside that, I am setting this value. Is this clear, or you want me to explain this one once again?
You can explain once more, like.
Okay, let me just try to explain it once again. Okay, so what I will do, I will close this thing. So now here what needs to be done, I am entering into my child. Hello, parent, how are you? So this text I am entering into my child. So this is getting displayed into my parent component. So how this has been done? So in case I go into my child component here, I have this handle change. So on this handle change, what I'm doing, I'm calling this custom event, which should be handled by parent. So inside this custom event that is being called into my child, I am passing the value that I have entered into that input text. Hello parent, how are you? So hello parent, how are you? This is being passed into this attribute detail of this custom event. This attributes I can have number. I can have number. I can have this like whatever I want. So now once this event is fired, inside this event, I am passing this data. Now for the parent to get this data, whenever this event got fired, what should happen? So this event got fired from the child, this event. Now when this event got fired, what should happen at parent? Parent should call this method. Now in case I go into this method, it should, I have this variable message, it should set the value which I got from my child component event, and it should display on the UI. That's why I have this value from child to parent. Mainly this thing is telling whenever an event is fired from child, this so and so event, it should call this event. This event, I mean this method on my parent component.
Can you go once to the parent JS?
Yeah, this is parent JS.
Yes, so can we not like this event dot detail or this dot message is equals to event dot detail? Can we not like, can we not write like this?
Yeah, you can also write it like this. I mean, constant is mean you can write it like direct also. So that is not, that should not also be an issue. Just I declared
Okay.
this variable.
Okay.
Yeah. Is this now clear? I mean how parent to child and child to parent communication is happening.
Yeah.
Okay. So I believe now there is one more thing is also there in Lightning Web Component, Lightning message channel. And that is your communication between your VF page, LWC, and your Lightning component together. But that I won't be covering out because it's a very detailed concept. And in case I start covering it out, it will take about maybe more than half an hour. And plus, from beginner's point of view, that concept is not recommended. I can just show you how it looks like, but we will not cover here. If you see, yeah. So now in case I try to send some data. So now here, if you see, this one is my Aura component. And this one is my LWC. This one is my BF. So I made some event on my Aura component. So that data which was there, that is coming into my LWC as well as VF also. But this I will not cover it out because this is a very vast concept. And plus, from beginner's point of view, also, this concept is not at all required. It's very rarely being used. One more example I can show you for LWC. This is an integration example, but you can assume it in a way. You have wrapper class. Let me show you one thing. If you see here, did you notice one thing? How this news is coming? So this is nothing but one API. That is I am calling from another website. I am calling it out. So one that data is mostly coming in the form of a JSON. So that data that is coming in the form of JSON has been converted into a wrapper class into a. So once that data is converted into a wrapper class, that is being displayed it out into my LWC. I can show you this also. Yeah, new LWC. Okay. Yeah, one more thing here to be noted is if you see these three tags come in between HTML, JS, and CSS. So in case I want to use CSS into my LWC, so that can also be used. You just need to define the name of your CSS same as that of your LWC name. If you see this here, news LWC.html.js, you have similarly. In case I want to use, you can do it like this. New file, just write this name into .css. So let us see how this has been done. If you see, I have this article data controller. If you see, this is one website, where I got this API. If in case you log in here also, this example is not mine. I just took it from internet for understanding. So there, you can create your account also and get your API also. So I already have this API key. Now let me show you this JSON structure here. So this is my full JSON which is there. So I've just so in case I do it. So this is, if you see, my Apex class is getting created. That's it. Nothing more than that. So now in case I go here, this is the class mean that I have created, this article wrapper here. Down. So if you see, this one is mean same as this. So now here, if what I have done is, mean since now this data is already into form of an Apex class, mean I'm just taking, I believe, first 5 records. You see. So after that, what I'm doing is, I'm returning this. If you see here, this JSON class, in this wrapper class, that's it. So now, in order to call from my controller here, from my LWC, yeah. So if you see, I'm calling this method call use point, which was there. So similarly, since this one I needed on during my load only, that's why the while method here has been used. So this is my data that came into my news articles. After that, it has been displayed it. So this is very same example. If you see wrapper class example, you can take. So how to get the data from wrapper class into my LWC? Just like list of as object, you have similarly list of this wrapper class I have written here. Nothing more than that. So other than this, I have used the CSS properties also here, which are there. So this is pretty much regarding LWCs. So we started with lightning edit. We started with lightning record form, mainly, or record and edit type. We covered it out. After that, lightning data table, we did it out. After that, imperative apex, we did it out. We did it out. Navigate from one LWC to another, we did it out. And last thing, in which one? This one we did it out. Event communication we also did. So that's it. So any questions? I can stop the recording also.